Hi guys, I welcome you all back to my channel. My name is Aisha. In today's video, I will be showing you how to cut and sew this cut together palazzo jumpsuit. I will be showing you the details on how to cut it and how to sew it. Thank you all for your support. God bless you all. If you are new to my channel, kindly click on the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. And give this video a thumbs up. Stay tuned to the end of the tutorial. The material I will be using, I have 4.5 yards of pattern crepe, and I will be making use of this pattern paper first, because if I should chalk this material, it won't show clearly. So I need to draft it on this pattern paper first before placing it on the main fabric to cut it out. So let's start. I've laid my pattern paper, so I'll come here. This is my starting point. The jumpsuit we are about to cut is an off-shoulder jumpsuit cut together. For us to cut an off-shoulder, you remove 4 inches or 5 inches from your full length. And the length I'm using is 60 inches. So I will come here. I will remove 5 inches from my full length, from 60 inches. So you can see this is it. So I will be taking my full length. The full length I'm using is 60 inches. So from here, I remove 5 inches from there. So you take your measurement downward. So this is it. I have 60 inches here, you can see. So this is 60 inches, and I will be adding 2 inches to it for the folding at the down aspect. So from here, I'll add 2 inches to it. So this is 2 inches for the folding at the down aspect. So you straighten it. So now I'll come to this side here. I'll measure 2 inches downward. The reason for the 2 inches is for us to shape it at the side here. So you measure 2 inches. I decide to stop there, so just for us to shape it at the hip side. So now come here, I will be taking the length measurement. I'm making use of 9 inches for the chest length, 10.5 for the bust length, 17 inches for the waist length, and 26 inches for the hip length. And for the crotch length, I'm making use of 29 inches for the crotch length. Now I will straighten it. So this is the chest length, bust length, waist length, hip length and crotch length. Chest line to the hip line. The widest part is the hip. So you take your hip measurement first. So I'll come to the hip. The hip measurement you are using, you divide it by 4. You divide your hip by 4. And I'm making use of 43 inches. So I'll come here, I'll divide my 43 into 4. So this is it. So I'll take my measurement. And the jumpsuit I'm cutting is a free jumpsuit, and it has gathers at the chest line. So that gathers will have effect on the whole body. So I will be adding that 4 inches be using for the gathers. I will add it to it. So this is the 4 inches that I will be using for the gathers. So I will add it to it, to that hip also, plus 1 inch inseam sewing allowance. So this is the 1 inch that I will be using for the sewing allowance. So from there I will straighten it up. So I'll come here, so I will straighten it up. Okay. So this is it. From the hip you straighten it up. So now I'll come here, I'll be taking my bust measurements, chest line. We are using the same measurement for the chest line and the bust line. So the bust I'm using is 41.5. So I'll come here, I'll measure 41.5. So this 41.5. This 41.5. You divide your bust also by 4. You divide your bust by 4. So this 41.5 plus that 4 inches that I'm adding to it. So I'll add that 4 inches here. So this is the 4 inches plus 1 inch inseam allowance. So this is 1 inch inseam allowance for the bust. So same thing for the bust line. This is that, plus the 4 inches for the gathers and 1 inch for the inseam allowance. So this is it. Waist. So the measurement I'm using for the waist is 40 inches. You divide your waist by 4 also. So I'll come here. So this is 40 plus that 4 inches plus 1 inch inseam allowance. So this is it. So now I'll come to the starting point. That's our starting point here. So I'll come here for us to get our armhole. So I'll come to this side. So let me straighten it up. For us to get our armhole, you come here. The shoulder I'm using, you know, this is off shoulder. So we've already removed 5 inches from it. So you come to the starting point here. So the shoulder I'm using is 16 inches. You divide your shoulder by 2. So if I divide 16 by 2, I will have 8 inches. So this is 8 inches. So you measure from here. So not from here. You take your measurement from this side. So this is 8 inches plus the 4 inches for gathers. So this is the 4 inches for gathers. So now I'll come here. So I'll straighten it downward. You straighten it to meet the chest line. So this is the chest line. You can see you straighten it to meet the chest line. So from there, so I'll come here. This is the front aspect. So I will be taking 1 inch out from here. So This is the front aspect. So now we create our armhole curve. So we create our armhole curve. So you use your French curve to create your armhole curve. So from here, so you can see. So from here you create your armhole curve. So this is our armhole curve. So you can easily give it shape from here. So let me give it shape. So this is our shape. So you give it, you shape it. Now we come to our crotch length. So this is our crotch length. And the tat I'm using is 28 inches. You divide your tat by 2. So come here. 28 divided by 2. That will give us 14 inches. So this is 14 inches. So I'll come here. I'll measure my 14 inches from here. I'll add that 4 inches for the gathers also. You add it to it plus 1.5 inch at the crotch length. You add 1.5 inch to it. So this is 1.5. You can see. So this is it. So now I'll straighten it to meet. So let me straighten this downward. So let me straighten this downward first. So you come here. So you measure half inch. You bend your tape this way. So this is it. You bend your tape this way. From this point here, you measure half inch. You bend your tape this way. So this is half inch. So now from there I'll curve it. So you curve it this way. You can see. So that's how we get our curve. So you curve it this way. So this is it. You can see it's on to the hip line. This is my hip line. So I will shape it to the down aspect here. So this is our hip line. So you come here. For us to shape it, we'll come down by 1 inch. You measure 1 inch from the hip line downward. So this is 1 inch. From there, you can easily shape it. So from here, you shape it downward. Side also from the crotch, not from the hip. Here is from the crotch. You give it shape downward. So you shape it downward this way. Come to the down aspect here. We'll come to the down aspect here. So I will be taking 1 inch. So here from here, you measure 1 inch. This is 1 inch. So at the other side here also you measure 1 inch. So this is 1 inch. So you bend your, so you give it shape. For us to have a curve shape so that it won't look sharp. So you curve it at the down aspect here. So you curve it at the down aspect here. Blend it. So you blend it this way for us to have a curve shape. So blend it. Come back to the upper part here. You can decide to give it neck shape at the upper part here. So after the 5 inches, so I'll be going down by, I'll be making use of 6.5. So 6.5. So this is 6.5. So from there, I'll give it shape. You can see. So this is it. See, so this is it. This is our off-shoulder jumpsuit cutting. So now I'll be cutting it out. Cutting, this is it. No need of adding any allowance to it. I've had the necessary allowance to it, so you just place this on the main fabric this way and cut it out. So let me do that. So this is the front aspect of our jumpsuit. So now I will be placing the pattern on the material to cut out the back aspect. At the back aspect, we will be having our zip allowance. So let me do that. The back aspect. So as for the back aspect, we will be adding zip allowance to the back aspect. So you come here, from this point to the hip. This is our hip line. So I will be taking 2 inches zip allowance. So this is my 2 inches zip allowance. So now you come to the crotch. You know, this is the back. You measure another from here. You measure 1.5 inch. So this is 1.5 inch. You can see. So I will blend it to meet here. So this is it. So you cut it this way. So you cut it this way to meet here. So now this way. You add 1 inch to this side, so I will be adding 1 inch. Let me cut it. So you add 1 inch to this side, so you blend it this way. So that's all about the back aspect. Same shape. So that's all about the back aspect. Same. Try to come down at the back aspect for the neck. If you want your neck to come down a bit, you can just come here. So from here, so you can decide to come down for the back aspect. If you want your neck to be deep, so you can decide to come down for the back aspect. As for the neck aspect, so but as for me, I'm leaving it this way. I want it this way. So but if you want your neck to be deep, you can decide to come down. You just come down. This is 6. You use 6.5 for the front aspect. You can decide to use 9 inches or 10 inches, anyhow you want it, and you to this armhole. So you blend it here from where you want your neck to stop. You blend it to meet here. So that's all about the back aspect. So I'll be cutting it out now. Back aspect, I've cut it out. I've had the zip allowance 2 inches zip allowance to it. So and I had 1.5 inch to the crotch here. So and you had 1 inch to this side downward. You don't need to add to this other side. Same shape. So that's all about the back and front. So now I'll be cutting the belt that I will use and the pocket. So pocket, I want it to have pocket. Eleven inches. Belt, you fold it this way. I will double it. So I have 8 inches here. So with the joining allowance, so you come here, you give it shape. So you give it the slant shape here. This way. Sewing aspect of the jumpsuit. So this is the front aspect. So I will join it from here to this point. So I will need to join it at the center. So from here, this downward. So you join, this is the front aspect. So let me do that with ½ inch. I've joined the two sides of the front aspect together at the center. So this is it. So now file the upper part of the front aspect as well as the upper part of the back aspect. But as for this, so our measurement of what we will be using, so I'll come here. So you know the shoulder we are using is 16 inches. And we remove 1 inch from our shoulder, which is, you know, is on that's 2. So now I will remove 2 inches from 16 inches, so that will give me 14 inches. I will return for the piling of the upper part. So this is 14 inches, so I'll cut it here. So this is it. So now I'll come here for us to know the center. So you come here, you notch it this way. Yes, so I've notched it. This is the wrong side. So now you place this way. The wrong side of the body will be facing the right side of the one that will be using to pile it. So I will place it this way. You can see I'll place it this way. So like this, and you start your sewing. You add your gathers to it. Center line that we join together meet with where we notch on this one that we are using for the piling. So make sure they meet. Add the gathers to it. So now I will pile it to this front aspect this way. So you fold it this way to the front aspect. So let me do that. That is the front aspect. So this is it. So now I'll be adding zip to the center back. So you come here, you come to this side. So for the zip, so I'll go up by 1 inch. 1 inch. So from here I'll go up by 1 inch and I'll stitch it downward to this side. So from here to the crotch. So now I'll come to the upper part here. I'll need to pile it first. So let me do that. The shoulder we are using is 16 inches. We remove 2 from the shoulder when we are cutting it, so remaining 14 inches, and we add another 2 inches zip allowance to each side. So now the 2 inches together, that's 4 inches. You plus that 4 inches to that 14 inches, that will give us 18 inches. So 18 divided by 2, that will give us 9 inches. So I'll come here, so I'll measure 9 inches for each part. So this is 9. I'll cut it. So this is another, you measure another 9 inches. So come here, I'll measure 2 inches and I will notch it. So this is it. Same thing applies to the second side. Measure 2 inches, you notch it. So you come to it, you measure 2 inches on the one that we are using to pile it. So you measure 2 inches and you notch it also. So this is it. So now I will be placing it on it. So now I'll come here. So I'll be adding my gathers to it. Same thing applies to the second side. This is it. You can see it. This is, so now I will be adding zip to the back aspect. So come here. So I'll come here, the 2 inches seam allowance, so 2 inches for the zip. So this is where our 2 inches stop. So from there I'll place it this way, so you can see. So use your pin to hold it downward. So use your pin to hold it downward. I'll place my sewing on it downward. So you stitch it down. So I'll be joining it at the side, the two sides. So I'll place sewing on it. I will be using 1/2 inch to join it at the side. Let me do that. Side, I'm adding sleeve to it. That's why I need to join it together at the two sides. But if supposing I'm adding spag hand to it, if you're adding your spag hand to it, you come here. So there's it. You pile it up first before joining it at the side. Here you pile it up first. You had your 5 inches. You know, we remove 5 inches at the upper part, so that's 10 inches plus this armhole. So you measure your armhole. So you measure the length of your armhole like this. You measure the both side. So and you pile it up first round from here. So you pile it up together with it before joining it at the side. But because I'm adding zip, because I'm not piling it up first, that's why I need to join it at the side first before adding my sleeve to it. Enter here. So you come to the center of your trouser. So there's the center point. Make sure it meets at the center point here. So you open this inseam, you open it this way and you place it on each other. So after then you place your sewing all around. So you can see. So now I'll place my sewing on it with ½ inch. You use ½ inch to join it together. Okay. I will sew it downward, and when I get to this side I will remain ½ inch. So you can see. So now I will be taking 6½ downward from here. So this is 6½. So that's where I'll start my sewing. So you come inward, you leave ½ inch also here. So you come inward. So after then I will be adding it to the body of the jumpsuit. You come here. So from here, you know, we shoulder. So you come downward by 17 inches, or me, I'll be making use of 18 inches. So you come downward. So I'll sew from here. So now I'll come side of the pockets, this side, you can see. So now I'll open it this way. So I'll sew it from where I stop my stitch here. So you place it there and sew it downward from here. You can see. To hold it if you are not comfortable in sewing it, so just make sure you you place it this way. You place one side of it to this side and start your sewing from where we stop here. Side. Notch here, you stop your sewing there. Side, you can see this is it. So you pick this side also, place your sewing this way, this second side. where we stop our sewing. So here, from here, you sew it downward to close the open side here. You sew it downward. Let me turn it to the front aspect for you to see. So you can see. So this is it. So same thing applies to the second pocket. This is it. This is the pocket. So now I will be folding the down aspect. So I will fold it in. After then, I will be showing you the final look. So I will join it together at the center here. After then, I will fold it to the wrong aspect this way. You fold it to the wrong aspect this way and sew it, downward space, like 2 inches space that you will use to turn it to the right aspect. So that's all about the belt. This is the final look of our jumpsuit. For the sleeve, watch out for the video. If you find this video helpful, kindly give it a thumbs up. If you have any question or suggestion, you can drop it in the comment section below. Kindly subscribe to my channel and make sure you turn on your notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. Thanks for watching. Bye.